Thank you and good morning. We have a special treat today with the Kalama brothers and Mom and Jamie, mother and sons. It's a fabulous thing. And Kai, you want to introduce this?
Oh, I will, yes. So the reason our mom is singing with us is my brother Kai lost his voice. So, we have the Kalama brothers and the Kalama mother today. But yeah, we're going to do all originals today. And this first song is called Cruise, and it's just about, Love, Love, Love. Oh, this is Love, 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 Love. Perfect. Perfect. Way to be on program, right, Bo? Love, Love, Love. This song is about our mission is to spread love. Love for ourselves, love for our neighbors, love, around the world that can cure everything. So that is our message. That is our mission. So let's kick it off with Love, Love, Love. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah. Even in a perfect world, I would choose you for my girl. Out of all the things I've seen, you're my favorite place I've been to. When the stars align, I know you and me, we steal the show. And with all our hearts we sing a simple message that we bring. Love, love, love is all we have to give. Without love we cannot live. Let's sing about love, love, love. It's all we really have to wipe away the bad. Let's sing about love. Oh yeah. When we're walking hand in hand, every woman, child and man, when we start to see each other as our sisters and our brothers, we'll be singing we are one. We'll be dancing in the sun. We'll be witnessing the birth of heaven here on earth. We'll sing about love, love, love. It's all we have to give. Without love we cannot live. Let's sing about love, love, love. It's what we're living for. Let's give it to get more. Let's sing about love. Oh yeah. Woo. Even in a perfect world, I would choose you for my girl. Out of all the things I've seen, you're my favorite place I've been to. When the stars align, I know you and me will steal the show. And with all our hearts we sing a simple message that we bring. We'll sing about love, love, love. It's all we really need to fight the fear and greed. Let's sing about love, love, love. It's what we're living for. Let's give it to get more. Let's sing about love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's sing about love.
Wow, how blessed are we? The Kalama brothers are in the house. Yay! But now it's time for you to stand and sing with us. Come on, ladies. Let's sing our opening song. Wake up. Woke up this morning with my mind straight on spirit. Woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. Woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. I'm walking and talking with my mind stayed on spirit. Walking and talking with my mind stayed on spirit. Walking and talking with my mind stayed on spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Singing and praying with my mind stayed on spirit. Singing and praying with my mind stayed on spirit. Singing and praying with my mind stayed on spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. Woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. Woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Well, hallelujah, and good God morning to you beautiful people. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living and to our Sunday celebration service. This is the time when we celebrate the presence of God in, through, and as each one of us. My name is Karen Allen. I am your creative arts minister here at the center, and I'm just so delighted you chose to be with us this morning. We have a great service in store. We are a center, a teaching center, and a learning center, and what we know is that you can change your life, you can transform your life simply by using the principles that we teach at this center and knowing that it's as simple as changing your thinking. And we are a center that also honors all paths to God, and no matter what faith tradition you come from, you are welcome here. And so we begin our service with the lighting of the flames of faith. And we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples, all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. Fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. We light the candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the candle for Islam, honoring the path of compliance with the will of God as the highest calling. We light the candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And as practitioner Jill Burnett lights the last candle, let it represent the path that brought you here this morning. Now please join me in a few moments of sacred silence as we take these words and anchor them in our hearts.
Self-Worth by Nikki Banis. The only one who gets to decide your worth is you. It doesn't come from your bank account or the number of friends that you have. It doesn't come from what someone else says you are worth. It's called self-worth, and that's for a reason. It comes from you. It comes from being yourself and being proud of who you are. It comes from being someone that you can count on and someone you love. The numbers will change with time, but what won't change is who you are deep inside. Beautiful, timeless, limitless, wonderful, creative, strong, capable. And that is your self-worth, where it comes from. Let's go in prayer. This is what I know. I know that I am one with God. I know that God is in me, as me, through me. Knowing that God is, I am. I know the same for everyone listening. I know that we are all the perfection that we want to be. We create our joy, abundance, health, love, and perfection. I am thankful for the reminder of my self-worth, and I know for all of us, we love ourselves for who and what we are at this moment. I'm proud and so grateful of all of you for who you have become. We are the change, and we spread love and light into this world. I give great thanks for this, knowing, and I release it into the law, knowing that it is so, and so it is. Okay. Join me in our global vision, please. We see the world that works for all, where people live according to spiritual truth, where unity and connection is emphasized, where people have enough food, homes, and sense of belonging, and where there is peace, harmony, and justice for all. Now join me in today's affirmation, please. The truth empowers me, and so it is.
Now it is my extreme pleasure to welcome to the platform Mama Kalama and the Kalama brothers. Woo!
Awesome. Well, this song is called Cruise. Again, we're doing all originals today, and it's just about not trying to let other people make you think the way they do. Just be true to yourself. So when you can do that, you can just cruise.
It seems people are gonna do only just what they wanna do, whether you want it or never. Who am I to say what you ought to be, just cause you think you ought to be better? But brother, whatever, take your word for the things that mean the most to you. Forget what you heard, unless you feel inside is true. The truth may be absurd, find the light to shine on through. No one knows you better than you. Relax and just cruise. Just cruise. Calm down, you don't have to go. Kick back, you can't be in no hurry. No need to worry. Take time to pick up a flower. Give thanks for all the hours you're given, so you can start living. Take your word for the things that mean the most to you. Forget what you heard, unless you feel inside is true. The truth may be absurd, find the light to shine on through. No one knows you better than you. Relax and just cruise. Just cruise. All right, let's clap our hands. Here we go. Raise your hand if you want to sing about it. Make your stand. Go ahead and shout about it. Raise your hand if you want to sing about it. Make your stand. Go ahead and shout about it. The truth be told, baby, I'm not so easy. So easy. Calm down, you don't have to go. Kick back, you can't be in no hurry. No need to worry. Take your word for the things that mean the most to you. Forget what you heard, unless you feel inside is true. The truth may be absurd, find the light to shine on through. No one knows you better than you. relax and just cruise. Just cruise. Thank you, thank you.
My mic. Good morning, everyone. Let's give him another hand of applause and appreciation. It was really great to have. Now, I usually go to see the Kalama brothers at Ivalee's. You know, it's what a treat to have them right here in our community, and not only the Kalama brothers, but I love it. I'm going to call you Mama Kalama from now on. It's totally going to stick, Jamie. So for those of you who may not know me, my name is Alice Reid, and I'm the spiritual leader here at Center for Spiritual Living, Capistrano Valley. And if you haven't gotten a proper welcome yet, let me welcome you as well. But I think you have been welcomed appropriately by the music and the spiritual practice. And now it's time for me to share a little bit about what we're about and talk about the teaching and the philosophy. I like to refer to us as an interspiritual philosophy. And the reason I think of it as interspiritual is while we do have a sacred text that we draw from the teaching of a man by the name of Ernest Holmes, but we also draw from all the sacred texts. The Bible has much wisdom to give us. There's wisdom in the Tao Te Ching. There's wisdom in the Bhagavad Gita. I always miss a syllable in there. I have a feeling I'm not alone. And this year we have this wonderful theme of living out loud, and this month we're looking at speaking truth to circumstances and or speaking truth to conditions, as I've been thinking about it. And we've been drawing from the Gita. We've been drawing from this ancient text that is over 5,000 years old and steeped in Hinduism, that is, has a lot of similarity, if you will, to the other Eastern religions. And so today's talk is standing on Shiva. And if you're not familiar with the Gita, now I don't profess to be an expert on, I feel like I'm know a little bit about all of them. And what is that, master of none? So, but I am just loving this deep dive into Hinduism and much of what the metaphoric and anecdotal stories can tell us. Now, the Bhagavad Gita is the story of a prince who doesn't know his self-worth, if you will, doesn't know his true identity as one with all. His name is Arjuna, and he's the protagonist in the story, and it's a 700-page text, so there's a lot of information there, and it's, there's a lot of challenges and wars and battles that Arjuna goes through. And in that text, Krishna, who is the supreme understanding of all life, Krishna, or we would refer to as God, is holding his hand, if you will. He's bringing him along. He disguises himself as a chariot driver, and he is helping Arjuna to wake up. And in and amongst all the Hindu traditions are these gods and goddesses that are available to represent different aspects of the world and the life as we move through it. And so Shiva, getting to it, Shiva is actually the destroyer of illusion. The destroyer of illusion. And so there's a little story about a battle that's taking place between gods and demons, and I would say if we were to bring this into the here and now, it would be that just like the battle we sometimes have for what we think is right and wrong, right? The gods and demons, right and wrong. And so in the story, in the Gita, there's this battle going on, and it feels like the demons are winning. So there is a call to one of the gods, Durga, known as the goddess of compassion and mothering, and they beg her to do something to alleviate this situation. And so out of her forehead springs this fierce warrior goddess, Kali. And Kali proceeds to destroy the demons, but she is so caught up with her mission that she's been called to support in this battle that she just begins to kill everything. She's destroying everything around her. And that is when Shiva, the destroyer of illusion, throws himself under her feet to help ground her, to bring her back to her purpose, to stop her rampage so that she can remember who she is. And so I love this metaphor in this story because in today's world, oftentimes we find ourselves at odds with what's happening around us. Maybe your thing is climate change, maybe your thing is racism, maybe your thing is what's happening to around the world and child slavery or there's a lot to be incensed about. There's a lot that we may want to go to war with, but when we find ourselves steeped in the conditions and the circumstances of the world, oftentimes we can get lost in the battle. And we can forget the motivating factor that caused us to go to battle. We can forget that thing that drew us forward in our deep passion and interest for the love that we have for the world. And when we get lost in conditions and circumstances, oftentimes we find ourselves reacting from the level of conditions versus the level of cause. And in Science of Mind, we talk about our experience in life from a place of causes and conditions, very similar to Eastern religion that talks about karma and which is the same thing, causes and conditions, that there's a higher understanding, and then there's the experience that we have in the world. And so as we look at this idea of standing in Shiva, it's about grounding ourselves to principle. It's about grounding ourselves to the truth of life that is all around us. It's so easy to forget that we are made and we are the beautiful expression of the divine. That the divine so loved life that it gave us you. It gave us me. It gave us all the life that we experience around us. And when we get disconnected from that, that's when we need that Shiva energy to come back to ourselves, to come back to this truth and this principle of who we are. And to, it sounds dramatic, right? The destroyer of illusion. But if you think about it, all creation moves through creative forces that seem to destroy its container. If you think about the seed, right? It's a little shell of something, and it's got some kind of life force inside of it, and we plant it in the ground. And only by destroying its container can life come forth in whatever plant comes through the soil. And so as looking at this Hinduism and the wisdom from that, we look at the idea of destroying, not of obliteration, but more of transformation. And that transformation is happening all around us. And yet, we human beings get pretty, we get comfortable with the experience that we're having in the world of whatever that might be, the job that you're enjoying, or the relationship you're enjoying, or the different conditions that we strive for. in our human experience. But Shiva wants to remind us that there is something deeper, something that is a little, that takes a little more of a reach for us to leave our comfort zone, to touch that place of the divine that lives within us, that is giving life to all animation in life. I mean, I love when I'm doing meditation, I'll often remind myself of the power of the breath. It just seems like breathing, right? And I know there's some people who have diseases where breathing is difficult, but for the vast majority of us, you don't think about that with each breath, that breath has to nourish every cell and organ in your body, right? You know, we don't think about that, but it's this miracle of life is that with every breath, our body is nourished, and with every exhale, we let go of what we don't need, and we don't have to direct it, we don't have to orchestrate it, we don't have to plan it, we just breathe. And so when we remember that miracle of life, it gives us a sense of awe. I don't know about you. I'm in awe right now as I talk about that. That there's a power and a presence to everything that we experience. And yet, oftentimes we sort of ride the surface of our experience and forget about the awe, the thing that's beneath it all, the thing that animates all life. And in this philosophy and many other spiritual philosophies, the real tangible goal, the outcome is for us to get in touch with that awe and in touch with that mystery that is present in all life. And so standing in Shiva is about standing true to who we really are and this experience we call life. Now, as I said, in Science of Mind, we talk about this idea that everything's created twice. You heard me say it once, you'll hear me say it again, that everything is created twice in this world that we experience. It's created first in consciousness and second in form. We work with this thing called the creative process. It ties in with the idea that's talked about in a biblical sense of God's will. God has given us free will so that we can work with a creative process, and that creative process moves through us to express life. It expresses life as you, as me, and everything we see around us. And so as we recognize this principle, this perspective that we have about life, I think it's important to recognize that everything I experience comes from yesterday's ideas. And if I like what I'm experiencing, then I'm going to continue to cultivate yesterday's ideas. And if I don't like what I'm experiencing, then it's up to me to begin to shift the beliefs and the ideas that I carry so that I can have a different condition or a different experience. And so when we stand in Shiva, and we have this process called the creative process that we're working with, then we are called forth to recognize that whatever the experiences that we're experiencing, whether it be something you're passionate about in the world or something that's happening in your own life, it's temporary. This too shall pass. And so I'm not saying that we shouldn't do anything about it. I'm saying that we should first change our thinking. We should first investigate our beliefs. We should first dive deep into what it is in us that brings forth the experience that we're having, clear that, and then take action in the world. And when we do that, we don't find ourselves making the mistakes that Kali did of just blindly destroying everything. Instead, we're grounded in principle, so that we can take action that's based on principles, so that we can destroy, if you will, the ideas in our minds that are not serving us, and allow ourselves to let go of some of the more illusionary ideas so that we can step into a place of truth. I think the real challenge for many of us comes in the fact that we live in in a world of instant gratification, or as I like to call it, the drive-through culture, right? If you want something, you drive through, they hand it to you through a window, it's yours. I haven't had the experience. I have had some instant demonstrations for the work that I've done in this philosophy, where it's been an easy reach. I've shifted my mind about something, and instantly things seem to shift as well. But there are, far by and large, there are things that need some transformation time within me. The divine is everywhere present. It's never not in everything we experience, but sometimes we need a little stew time to allow the divine to drop into our experience. I think if we were to experience all the vastness of the one infant reality at one moment, it might just blow up our minds. Some of the new ideas that have come through for me in my brief time on Earth have been mind-blowing in and of themselves. And so we need a little time to integrate a larger idea. And so sometimes the battles that we rage with life, whether they be our general discontent or whether they be something that's happening in the world that we find outrageous, need the time to move through us to then express that in the world. And so patience is called for. Ernest Holmes writes in the Science of Mind textbook, there is no process of healing, but there is generally a process in healing. This process is the time and effort which we undergo in our realizations of truth with a capital T. And he also reminds us that spirit is forever taking form and forever deserting the form which it has taken. So that this we all know, that you get to a certain point in life when you recognize that if we look at nature, the flowers bloom, they die off, they leave seeds, and that cycle starts again. And we see that in human life as well, that our lives bloom, they come to full fruition, then we begin to wilt and leave seeds for the next generation. That is the cycle of life. That is truly what Kali represents. She came to this, in this initial story I told, she came in and began to destroy everything. But Kali's true nature is the nature of nature. I could have worded that differently. But her true dharma, if you will, the true expression of Kali is that of nature, of creation and destruction that is happening over and over again. And so I think it's ours not to be afraid of destruction. That sometimes there are things that have to be let go of, some things that we have to surrender. And we hold on. I love that saying. It's on a poster somewhere. I'm sure you've heard it. Like, everything I let go of has claw marks on it. That's the human condition, especially in our Western culture. And sometimes it's just easier to let go. But in order to do that, you have to have some kind of grounding. In order to let go and surrender and trust, you have to have some kind of grounding, some kind of faith and trust. And we learn that through many of the different religious paths that we talk about here. You can find that faith and trust in Christianity. You can find that in Buddhism, Hinduism. You can find that right here in Centers for Spiritual Living and the Science of Mind philosophy. And then once we're grounded, we have the ability to be in the flow of life as it is created and as it goes away. Emma Curtis Hopkins, she is known as the teacher of teachers. She taught many New Thought individuals, enlightened individuals who went on to form different facets of the New Thought movement. And she taught Ernest Holmes. She taught Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, who started Unity. She taught the Nona sisters who started Divine Science. So she's had a great deal of influence. And her writing is just pure principle. And she writes this in her book, The Gospel Series. There is a principle involved in the idea of seeing things as they are. It is possible to look at anything steadfastly enough to see through its imperfection and to see it as good. So she's telling us that the circumstances and the conditions and the effects that we see in the world need us to see through them. That oftentimes we have these knee-jerk reactions. I remember when my daughter and my son-in-law were selling, they were buying a condo, and it was at the top of the market. And I remember being really upset about it because why are they making this, mistake? Why are they doing this? And I can tell you, 15 years later, it was a mistake. But there were so many life lessons that these two learned through making that mistake that I don't know that they would have learned those things or integrated those truths for themselves had they not walked that out. And so, and I think I talked about this a little bit last week, right? Like we're always thinking we have to fix everything. And yet there's this grand flow to life that when we learn how to trust it, that everything is in right order. And so when we, so I think I don't know if I said this already, but when we stand in Shiva or stand in truth, I invite us to do that with a little humility. A humility for the power of nature that is moving through all life. The humility that trusts that there's a bigger picture that we can't quite see. Humility that we really trust life to transform itself, and always, always that life is evolving for the better. And that sometimes it might kind of feel like watching the grass grow, but the grass always grows. I think I want to wrap up my comments with a little story about Mahatma Gandhi. It was during one of Gandhi's hunger strikes that a man whose daughter had been killed came to Gandhi in a state of anguish. He told Gandhi that he would stop fighting because, of course, his hunger strikes were about trying to instill peace in the land. And so this individual came to Gandhi and said he would stop fighting if Gandhi would end his strike and eat. But Gandhi knew the healing was deeper than just stopping the violence. He knew that there was something that had to happen that was going to be deeper than just dealing with the condition of the day. He told the man he would eat only when the father embraced the man who killed his daughter. The man collapsed in tears. But the man did as Gandhi asked, and the larger conflict ended. Gandhi's request reveals this irrefutable wisdom that only when what appears to be broken is reclaimed and honored, no matter what has happened, we will experience healing. And I would add that it comes as a form of revealing. For there is only the perception of disease. There's only the perception of brokenness. Underneath that, there's always wholeness. And our work as spiritual seekers and spiritual finders and practitioners is to be patient and to trust life and the process of life, and then to look at what is ours to do and to take action when we are grounded in principle, so that that action can be part of a larger whole and not just the battle that might be raging in front of us. It's quite an invitation, I know, but I also know you're all capable of it. And so that when we remember to lead with love love for ourselves, love for humanity. When we remember to do that, everything's possible. Thank you very much. And so let's take those big ideas into prayer. Thank you. And so I speak this word, this spiritual mind treatment or affirmative prayer, anchored in the power and the presence of the one infinite reality that forever experiences itself as all of life. That thing that makes the grass grow is the same thing that creates the life around me. And so I surrender myself to it, knowing as I speak this word for myself and anyone within the sound of my voice, that there is power. There's power in recognizing and honoring the circumstances around us. And there is power in paying attention to how I see it. And there's power in recognizing my part and surrendering what's not mine. And so I know for each one that our seeing is clear, that our heart leads the way, and that our mind, our intentions, our motivations are pure, purified by our spiritual practice, purified by our patience. As we walk forth, doing what is ours to do for our own self, for our families, for our communities, and for the world as a whole. For it does indeed take a village. And so I'm grateful for this village we call Centers for Spiritual Living, Capistrano Valley. And so I anchor this prayer knowing this deep truth for each one. And it is in gratitude that we simply say, and so it is. And so let's bring the Kamala clan back up.
This song is called Certain Point of View, and it kind of echoes the talk that Reverend Alice just made. Sometimes we don't want to know the truth because the truth is scary. And the phrase certain point of view comes from one of my favorite spiritual leaders, Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's a scene in Return of the Jedi when Luke Skywalker has just found out some big truths about his old man. I won't spoil it for you, but it's kind of a big deal. But when Luke Skywalker finally did learn and confront the truth about his father, he was able to find that deeper connection with his family and with himself and with the Force. This is Certain Point of View. There are some times when reason or rhyme give no explanation as to why you do the things you do, what you want. But if you get caught, try to make it sound as though it really could have happened that way, as long as it's true from a certain point of view. Tell me it's true and I'll believe you. Tell me what I want to hear. I don't want to really know. I can't stand to let you go. Just tell me that it's true from a certain point of view.
I've got to tell you the truths we cling to, heavily rely on the point of view that works for you. Make the call to rise or to fall, and the way you choose to see the things that have conspired so far, as long as it's true from a certain point of view. Tell me it's true and I'll believe you. Tell me what I want to hear. I don't want to really know, but I can't stand to let you go. Just tell me that it's true from a certain point of view. As long as it's true from a certain point of view. Tell me it's true and I'll believe you. Tell me what I want to hear. I don't want to really know. I can't stand to let you go. Just tell me that it's true from a certain point of view. Tell me that it's true from a certain point of view.
Thank you.
Wow. Kalama family, how beautiful. Let's give them another hand. Just love them. Ah, how blessed are we. And thank you to our fabulous band and our music director, Diane King-Van. We are so blessed by all this talent we have. Yes. And now it's time for us to share our gifts, our tithes, our offerings. It's the time where we are committedly giving our financial goods. So if the ushers would please come forward. And if it's not your Sunday to give, or if you give online, please feel free to grab a blessing card from behind your chair and place it in the basket, or put in some love. And let's say our prosperity affirmation together. My offering is my acceptance of God as the source of my supply and symbolizes my faith in the abundant flow of this supply.
In this circle of love, in this circle of peace, in this circle of love, in this circle of peace, I feel our unity. Love, sweet security. I feel our unity. this circle of love, in this circle of peace, in this circle of love, in this circle of peace. Do that one more time. In this circle of love, in this circle of peace, in this circle of love, in this circle of peace.
And knowing that the giver and the receiver are one and the same, I bless these gifts, knowing that they do good works in the world. And so it is. All right, so do we have anybody who is here for the first time and would like to raise their hand and be acknowledged? Anyone? Yeah, receive a gift? All right. Bring a friend next time. And, our service would not be what it is or even exist without the work of our volunteers. So if you are one of those volunteers who has helped this week, please stand up. Let us give you lots of love. Yay. Look at this. Yeah. And practitioners, if you could remain standing, our practitioners are the backbone of our centers. They are the ones who've been trained in the art, the act, and the science of affirmative prayer. And if you want your life transformed, changed, improved, then you can make an appointment with one of these people. And then today, serving, we have an opportunity for a free 3-minute miracle in the back, or a 1-minute miracle in the back of the room. And serving today, I know, Jill Burnett, Mary Casa, and Jody Charton. So avail yourselves of prayer after the service. And now, is Clark Wilson in the house? All right, Clark. He's going to provide us with some invitations. Whoop, 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 whoop.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Whew, aren't we excited? Conscious Connection will meet at 12 noon in the sanctuary. Mary Brogdon facilitates a group discussion about the topic of today's talk. Participants will be given the opportunity to figure out what Reverend Alice was talking about earlier. This Wednesday, July 19th, 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m., Christian Steele will present a class on meditation for everyday life. Reverend Karen is still accepting sign-ups for South Orange County's Got Talent Showcase on Friday, August 4th. Now, the focus up to now has been encouraging folks to participate by sharing their talent. We don't intend to minimize the importance of audience participation. The ones who do perform require an audience. No sign-ups are required for audience participation. There is no admission fee. Just get yourselves here for a fun-filled evening of entertainment and community. Now, we have, however, rejected a few entries. The man who offered to wrestle a ferocious gerbil. The man who offered to dive off a 30-meter platform into a pool filled with chocolate pudding. I understand that one. And the young couple who wanted to prove in public they could kiss for over an hour. Now, that one was rejected for time and sloppiness. Come on, we've all done it. I thought a Silmar was some kind of Australian marsupial or the capstone on a Muslim mosque, but I was wrong. A Silmar is the CSL Summer Retreat, August 8th through 11th, and I'd like to remind you that there is still time to register. This might be the last time you hear this. Flyers about the conference are available in the lobby. We have 3 weekly small groups which are open to all who are interested. I have been given no further information about the activities of these 3 groups, so again, it's all part of their nefarious plan. Wednesdays with Mary is book study on Zoom from 9 to 10:30 a.m. This week, they will finish the book Living Untethered by Michael Singer, and all participants will never be tethered again. On July 26th, they will begin the study of Soul Boom, Why We Need a Spiritual Revolution by Rainn Wilson, the actor who played Dwight, I don't know how to pronounce it, Schrute, is that correct? On The Office. In his book, Wilson shares some of his personal journey in the faith tradition of Baha'i, as well as his study of the other major faith traditions. He proposes 7 spiritual solutions to many of the societal problems facing us today. And in the hypothetical new religion, which Wilson calls Soul Boom, there will be lots of potlucks, and I know we like to eat. Shifting Sands meets on Thursday from 10:30 to 12:30 in person or on Zoom if unable to attend in person. Each week, someone volunteers to present a topic for the purpose of stimulating discussion and sharing ideas and or experiences. Shifting Sands provides a sense of community like no other, and most attendees will tell you that Thursday morning is the highlight of their week. Coming Home, Awakening the Spirit is a support group that meets on Friday mornings at 8 a.m. Joyce Fournier hosts this Zoom meeting. For details about these and other activities here at CSLCV, pick up a flyer in the lobby. And now please stand for the closing song.
Thank you, Clark. I see you for the light that you are. I see you for the love that you are. I see you for the light that you are. I see your light. I see your love. I see who you are. I see you for the light that you are. I see you for the love that you are. I see you for the light that you are. I see your light. I see your love. I see who you are. I see you for the light that you are. I see you for the love that you are. I see you for the light that you are. I see your light. I see your love. I see who you are. I see your light. I see your love. I see who you are. I see your light. I see your love. I see who you are.
So I know that we see light everywhere we go, reflected back to us of the light that we are, and so it is.